We are a bit like the people at Clear Sky. We, as Laura said, have been involved with Game of Thrones really since back in about 2008. We work very closely with the local company that provides all the transport for the main cast members here in Northern Ireland when they're here filming. And as a partnership with that, we provide all the large coaches for when the big scenes with all the extras are being filmed here as well. So they contacted us back in 2008 and said that they had a group of VIPs coming over from America to come and really have a look at Northern Ireland to see was it a suitable location to make this what they call the next big thing. So we very happily went along. For us at that time, it was great just to have another day's work for one of our drivers and one of our vehicles. But there really was a lot of hype surrounding it and a lot of focus put on this day to come and look at the locations. From that then, we were booked again to go and film the pilot. So we were on set when they were out filming the pilot to really push and see if they could get Game of Thrones picked up. To give you a bit of background about what McComb's does, we're a small family business, as Laura said, run by myself and my husband Rodney. We employ about 20 to 25 staff and operate a fleet of 10 luxury coaches ranging from 16-seaters up to 50-seat coaches. And along with that, we operate 4 smaller vehicles for private tours and chauffeur work as well. We have a very, very wide client base, and we provide the luxury coach travel to companies like G&H Film Services and also the Irish Football Association. We provide all the transport for all the Northern Ireland teams and all the visiting teams that come to Northern Ireland too. On the other side of the coin, next year will be our 20th year of operating Giant's Causeway tours every day, running from Belfast up the Causeway coastal route, going to places like Giant's Causeway, Carcareed Rope Bridge, all the staple attractions that everybody has always known about that are here in Northern Ireland. So, as I said, we have worked for quite a while with the local film company G&H, and we have been involved in productions like The Shore, Philomena, The Fall, Line of Duty, City of Ember, and many, many more. So when Game of Thrones came along, we thought it's another film that's going to be made here. We'll get some work out of it, but we never really dreamt that we would find ourselves here in 2015 running Game of Thrones tours every day of the week. So when seasons 1 and 2 came out, we of course watched the series. We were avid fans, more from the point of view of because we had been involved in it, we had been on the sets, we had been to the locations, and it was great for us to be able to relate to those things. It really took off so well in America and New Zealand and Australia, but we felt over here locally people didn't realise just how big the momentum was gathering. We're very lucky in that we've had those last 20 years to build our experience of tour work, and we carry an average about 60,000 people on our Giant's Causeway tour every year, and that generates in excess of £1 million to the Moyle area in guest spend, whether it be for overnights, lunches, souvenirs, etc. So of those 60,000 people that we carry every day, we found that some of those people were starting to ask, oh, on this tour, do we go to the King's Road or do we go to Pike Harbour? Now, anybody who knows Rodney and I know that we don't like to say no to people, we just like to say not yet. So we very quickly went away and had to think about what we could do in the line of Game of Thrones. So because we'd worked on all those locations, we knew where they were, we knew, how the scenes were filmed. So we got our thinking caps on and put together very quickly an itinerary that included sites like the caves at Cushendun, the Dark Hedges, Ballantoy Harbour, Larrybean Quarry, and we were able to tie that very nicely into a one-day tour that people could take from Belfast and come back that evening as well. We put the tour tickets on sale, and the very first day they went on sale, we sold, well, in excess of what we had expected to sell immediately. We realised that we sort of needed to put our money where our mouth was, and we really needed to support this tour, and we needed to nurture it. So we invested £500,000 into brand new mid-sized coaches to give these people really exceed their expectations of what they were getting and really carry through the ethos that we've always had of really providing luxury and the upper end of travel to people. Because we had spent all the money on the vehicles, we had little or no money left for promotions, so we had a real high dependency on PR, and we were very, very lucky that we were one of the first companies, along with Clear Sky, to really recognise the opportunity with Game of Thrones. So people were very eager to work with us and team up with us and to promote these tours that we had. We were helped and encouraged along the way by Tourism NI and by Tourism Ireland and Causeway Coast and Glens Tourism, as well as Visit Belfast. The first real major piece of PR that we received came really directly through Causeway Coast and Glens Tourism, when we received a call from the BBC asking would we like a feature on the One Show. Well, you don't say no to that. So we had Keris Matthews with us for the day, and we took her out on the coach and told her all about our Game of Thrones experiences, brought her down to Winterfell, and we ended up with a full 5-minute segment on a full Game of Thrones themed episode of the One Show, which earned to 5.5 million viewers that night. So the ball really started rolling there and kept moving, and we had more and more people became interested in what we were doing. We ended up then being featured. We were in the New York Times. We had a journalist came out and took the tour with us and wrote a full feature in the Getaways column for the New York Times. We had The Guardian, The Independent, Condé Nast Traveller, Huffington Post. It just goes on and on. Every day it seemed we had a new media inquiry coming into the office. We had Canal Plus, another French TV channel, and a German TV channel too. So for us, when we really started, and right through how we've continued to provide the Game of Thrones tours, there's two real main focuses for us, and that's quality and respect. What we really insist on doing is exceeding people's expectations, and what they hope to get from us, we always want to give them more. When we talk to people in the industry, people working in different sectors of the industry, we keep hearing, oh, Thronies, they've got plenty of money to spend, you know, how do we get the money from them? And yes, we can exploit the opportunity that is there for us, and it is a great way to generate income for us here. But these people are very clever people, they're very clued in, they do lots of research into what they're going to do before they get here, and they really don't want to be ripped off. So what we really focus on is giving them that great experience, really exceeding all their expectations and providing an experience rather than just a tour. Our tour is a fully interactive experience, and what's different to our normal tours is that their guide spends the full day with them. Every time the coach pulls up somewhere, the guide stays with them, and we'll go down to the caves at Cushendun, you know, and they'll stand out in the different places where Melisandre sat, where she was filmed, to the point where one day we were at the caves at Cushendun. If anybody has seen this scene, they'll know it's quite graphic, where Melisandre gave birth to the Shadow Assassin, and a lady at the back of the crowd put her hand up to the tour guide and said, actually, the actress who plays Melisandre, I'm her mum. So we have certainly reached a good audience with the people who are taking the tours with us. The other thing that we really focus on is respect, and we try our best to show the greatest of respect to bodies like Tourism Ireland, Tourism Northern Ireland and Northern Ireland Screen. You know, Game of Thrones isn't here just so that people like us can run tours and start experiencing, you know, giving people Game of Thrones experience. It's here because Northern Ireland's such a fantastic backdrop to film Game of Thrones in, and the last thing that we would want to do would be jeopardise that. So the very simple things like following the guidelines that the Tourist Board issue really has helped us gain respect within the industry and work more and more with people like Tourism Northern Ireland. One of the real highlights of this year with the Game of Thrones tours for us was that we took part in the quality grading scheme that the Tourist Board offers, and we were the first Game of Thrones product to take part in this, and we were delighted to come out with a 5-star grading for our tours. So it's been a real highlight of this year for us. Along with that, we were also awarded the Chartered Institute of Marketing Award for Hospitality and Tourism. So for a company that had no budget for advertising their product after spending all the money on the coaches, it was great to be recognised from a marketing perspective for this. For us, Game of Thrones has been a real catalyst, and as I said, we have been running tours for 20 years, it'll be next year, and people say to us, you know, it's only taken you 20 years to become an overnight success, and we really blended into the background with our Causeway tours, but when we really grabbed a hold of the Game of Thrones product, it really helped project us up into the next level. So we are certainly grateful for Game of Thrones being filmed here. We've up until now been running the tours 3 days a week, every week. We thought at the beginning we would maybe get a season of April to September out of it, but lo and behold, we're still going. We took a break on Christmas Day, and that was about the height of it. From the 3rd of April this year, we'll be increasing those days to 5 days a week instead, and we'll also be starting our tour down to Winterfell as well, 2 days a week too. So it will be great to be working alongside Clear Sky Adventure and bringing more and more people to Northern Ireland.